Gauff saves US, Wawrinka starts farewell season with victory. Perth, Coco Gauff rode to the rescue with a 6-1 hammering of Solana Sierra to nudge the United States towards a 2-1 defeat of Argentina on Saturday at the United Cup. The defending champions trailed 0-1 after Sebastian Baez had earlier shocked 6th-ranked Taylor Fritz 4-6, 7-5, 6-4, despite the American firing down 23 aces. Fritz suffered a minor ankle roll late in the match which put him off his power-hitting game, and he was unable to close the gap on Baez, who beat the 28-year-old for the first time in 6 meetings. Gauff and Christian Harrison eventually clinched the tie in the mixed doubles decider, defeating Maria Lourdes Carl and Guido Andreazzi 6-4, 6-1. Stan Wawrinka launched the final season of his career with a marathon 5-7, 7-6, 7/5. 7-6, 7/5 win over Arthur Rinderknecht to give Switzerland an unassailable 2-0 lead over France. The 40-year-old joined teammate Belinda Bencic as a winner after she began the tie 6-2, 6-4 over Leolia Jean. The Swiss won the mixed doubles for a 3-0 final scoreline. Wawrinka is competing in Perth for the first time, needing to battle for nearly 3.5 hours to defeat an opponent a decade his junior. The 3-time Grand Slam champion sealed victory on his first match point. Also on Saturday, in Sydney, Zhang Zhizhen led China to a 2-1 win over Belgium to begin their tournament. Norway's Casper Ruud stunned Australian number 1 Alex de Minaur 6-3, 6-3, while Aussie women's singles substitute Storm Hunter beat Malene Helgo 6-2, 7-6, 7-3, when illness stopped first-choice Maya Joint. Hunter and John Patrick Smith won the doubles over Ulrich Ikeri and Viktor Durasovic 4-6, 6-1, 10-4 for Australia's 2-1 final scoreline. Published in Dawn, January 4, 2026. The lights at Arthur Ashe Stadium have a way of making moments feel larger than life. They stretch shadows, sharpen nerves, and turn the sound of a bouncing ball into a heartbeat shared by thousands. On one such night, Coco Gauff stood at the center of that glowing arena, not merely as a player chasing points, but as a symbol of belief, of resilience, of a home crowd desperate to keep dreaming. On another court, in another tournament, Stan Wawrinka walked out with quieter footsteps, carrying history on his shoulders, beginning what feels like a farewell season with a victory that whispered rather than roared. Tennis, for all its individualism, has a remarkable way of stitching stories together. The night Coco Gauff saved. To say Coco Gauff saved the US is not to claim she carried a country on her back in any literal sense. No borders shifted, no flags were raised. But sport has its own geography, and on that night, American tennis needed oxygen. The stands were full of hope and anxiety, the kind that only comes when expectation meets youth. Gauff, still so young that her journey sometimes feels impossibly compressed, played as if she understood the weight without being crushed by it. The match turned, as so many do, on moments that looked small on paper. A break point saved with a fearless backhand, a rally extended one shot longer than comfort allowed, a second serve struck with first serve conviction. Each point she won did more than move a scoreline. It stitched the crowd back together. When she faltered, the silence was heavy. When she surged, the noise became belief. She wasn't perfect, great nights never are, but she was brave, and bravery has a way of filling gaps that technique alone cannot. What made the performance resonate was not just the result, but the manner. Gauff played with urgency without panic, emotion without chaos. She acknowledged the crowd, fed off them, and yet never seemed to lose the private dialogue that champions maintain with themselves. In saving match points, in swinging freely when fear would have been understandable, she turned a potential ending into a beginning. In that sense, she saved more than a match. She saved momentum. She saved the idea that American tennis, long searching for a new standard-bearer, might already be watching one grow into the role. The quiet power of belonging. There is something uniquely powerful about winning at home. The court feels smaller, the air heavier, the expectations louder. Gauff has grown up in that noise, learned to filter it, learned when to listen and when to shut it out entirely. Her connection with the crowd is not performative. It feels organic, a shared understanding that she is one of them and yet carrying something for them. In a sport where loneliness is often the default, that sense of belonging can be decisive. On that night the celebration afterward was not wild. It was reflective. Gauff smiled, waved, took it in, not as someone surprised to be there, but as someone who knew this was part of a longer story. Saving the US, if only for an evening, was not the end goal. It was proof of readiness. Meanwhile, a champion walks on. While the noise echoed in New York, Stan Wawrinka stepped onto court elsewhere with a different kind of awareness. At 38, every match now carries an unspoken question. How many are left? Wawrinka's career has never been defined by constant dominance. Instead, it has been marked by peaks so high they reshaped the landscape. 3 Grand Slam titles, each earned by taking down giants in their prime. His one-handed backhand, a shot of rare violence and beauty, has long been his signature and his statement. As his farewell season begins, there is no official announcement, no dramatic countdown. Just a veteran showing up, competing, and, in this case, winning. The victory was not spectacular in the way his slam triumphs once were. It didn't need to be. It was measured, intelligent, and grounded in experience. Wawrinka played the match like someone deeply familiar with himself. He chose moments. He managed energy. He trusted patterns built over decades. Where younger players might chase highlights, he chased control. And he found it. The meaning of a first win. To start a farewell season with a victory is to claim agency over the ending. It says, I am still here by choice, not by nostalgia. Wawrinka's win carried that message clearly. His body, long tested by injuries, responded. His mind, sharpened by years at the highest level, stayed patient. The crowd, smaller and quieter than the one roaring for Gauff, offered a different kind of respect. Applause lingered. Appreciation replaced expectation. Every winner felt like a memory being added to an already full archive. There is dignity in this stage of a career, but also vulnerability. Each loss threatens finality. Each win delays it. By winning his opener, Wawrinka bought time, not just on the calendar, but in the imagination of fans who are not yet ready to say goodbye. 2 generations, 1 sport. What binds Gauff and Wawrinka is not nationality, age, or playing style. It is timing. Tennis is always in transition, passing its stories from one generation to the next. On the same stretch of days, one player affirmed the future while another honored the past. Gauff represents possibility. Her game is still expanding, her identity still forming. Every big moment teaches her something new about who she can be under pressure. Wawrinka represents memory. His game is fully known, deeply etched, a reminder of what excellence looks like when earned the hard way. Together, their moments form a complete picture of the sport's rhythm, arrival and departure, ascent and reflection.